He says that you're listening to the Break It Down show, and we're live now.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Raj Smooth.
What's going on? It's DJ Dents.
What up, everybody? It's DJ Severe.
And you're listening to the
Break It Down
show.
Yeah,
that
was a lot to do. All right, so I'm going to start here by telling our audience who we're dealing with. First of all, a guy who's no stranger to the Break It Down show. He spends 81 home games in a regular season for a team that always makes it to the playoffs. That makes him the most heard DJ in the universe by sheer volume. His booth is perched high above the venue with, I'm sure you would argue, the greatest view of any park in baseball with easily the most famous fan base. The story we hear over and over again is how he spins a favorite artist and then finds out they're sitting in the crowd. You can follow him at The Real DJ Severe. He's the best damn DJ your favorite DJ knows about. He even spins when we throw a party. He is DJ Severe. Moving right along to DJ Dents. We love his R&B playlist. If you guys don't know, R&B stands for ribs and barbecue. He's also spun the Soak Beach Summer Bash Sundays under the cabanas and by the pool at the Agua Caliente Resort in Rancho Mirage. So if you're looking to power chill, you can trust him with the audio landscape. Plus, in 2 words, he's why. He's the 6th man on the Clippers, whether it's basketball, beach bonfires, even NASCAR races. On the track, on the pier, at the Staples Center, and all over Los Angeles. You can follow him at DJ Dents. He is DJ Dents.
Thank you.
And finally, the winner of today's Mileage Award, Raj Smooth hosts Sunday morning mimosas on your sofa. Live from the Foundation Room, New Orleans. The Tuesday night quiet storm for some weeknight quarantine freakness. Turned Up Tuesdays on the Saints Instagram, and You Got to Chill lunchtime mix on Thursdays, as well as In Your House Party live from the stage of the currently closed House of Blues on Friday nights, and several other Instagram live events. You should follow him at Raj Smooth so you can experience smoothness. Hashtag social dis dance. He also spins the plates at the Superdome for the New Orleans Saints. He's a veteran DJ and producer, and I know from years of experience that he stays super dope. In fact, Lil Wayne called Raj the greatest DJ in the world. That is a direct quote, and he happens to be my nephew because he's married to my niece. He is Raj Smooth. Welcome, gentlemen.
How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Good to be here.
So the 3 of you collectively spin to hundreds of thousands of people on a nightly basis, but really, if you collect throughout the year, you guys have millions and millions of ear holes filled. And today we're going to focus on some of the funk because we got some funkiness going on in the world.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Raj, you are staying busy all throughout the week, man, spinning Instagram events. How's that going for you? How's everybody responding?
It's been real dope. You know, I've had an opportunity to connect with fans that used to go to college down here and friends that moved away to go to school. So, you know, since they haven't been here, they haven't really had a chance to hear me DJ. So now that I'm online, they've gotten a chance to check out my set. So it's been real cool connecting with a lot of them. A lot of people have been very positive about, you know, music, giving them kind of an escape from the current situation and giving them an outlet to, you know, just kind of like relax, kick back, and forget about what was really going on outside right now. So it's been pretty cool.
Okay. Severe, you're on Instagram Live too. And how's the interactions been with you? How are people taking the fact that they have to watch you online now?
You know, it's dope because I've had the opportunity to kind of through my management gear up with some other shops out here, like and kind of bridge my a lot of the Dodger following is a big Latin following, so it's kind of like opened up. I've even had OG Kid Frost introduce me and talk about how I've been such a cool cat to him, and then we've interacted at the stadium and how I play his music. So I've actually taken this time to, within my IG Live, kind of bridge more of be more of a bridge between the Black African American and the Latin community, and like kind of reach out and do things. But IG Live, I think, has been like beneficial to all the DJs because we've just been reaching out and staying current And like I had a post today where it's like, you got to get ready for this new whatever is coming, because it's not going to be the same anymore. So you got to kind of adapt with what's going on and keep moving forward. So I've been kind of blessed to keep doing that.
Yeah. Dents, I saw you recently kicking it with DJ Quick.
Yeah, hanging with Quick, as well as doing the IG live stuff, and a lot of folks jumping in the live. You know, you get a few of the stars that are popping through. Like I said, Quick, AMG, a lot of West Coast cats been following in on my IG live. I do it every now and then, just, you know, letting people know like, hey, we're all in this thing together. Not really looking for anything, but just a good time, you know. And like Severe said, and just what you're doing is you're helping take people's minds off of what's going on right now, helping them get through the day. I've even done some birthday parties on here. Believe it or not, people have asked me to go live for their birthday party because they can't have birthday parties. So I'll go live on there. I'll go live on Zoom, and we just try and make it happen, man, the best way that we can. Been in talks with the NBA, just trying to find out what, when, where. Nobody has any answers just yet, but like Severe, it's like we're waiting in that chamber, just like everybody, even for football season. It's like everybody's just waiting to find out what the next move is, but just being proactive to stay with your craft, because this music is hot right now, and we can't go back to these arenas playing stuff that was hot before the quarantine. You know what I mean? We gotta stay on top of it as it's changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Raj has one distinct advantage because he stayed in New Orleans after Katrina, so he has literally spun his community out of a major disaster and an economic disaster.
Right.
How is it different now, Raj?
It's affecting everybody now. After Katrina, I kind of like, you know, everybody was displaced. So I ended up like hopping on the road, and I was traveling between like Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, and Chicago, and all points in between, trying to catch up with all my New Orleans people. So I was bringing the party directly to them physically. Now we have an opportunity to do it virtually. You know, everybody's stuck inside, so we just bringing the party to them and keeping it going.
How about a lot of comedians right now are saying that, you know, since there's not comedy, they don't have ability to stay sharp. You know, like you said, Dance, you were talking about staying current.
Yeah.
You know, for them, they got to keep their saw sharp by being on stage every night, night after night.
They do.
You guys have the opportunity to continue to spin.
Yeah.
So I think you can hit the ground running when the clubs open back up.
Well, hey, you know what?
We've
actually seen some DJs hop on the ones and twos. I mean, some comedians jump on the ones and twos. So, you know, Deion Cole is going crazy there doing his thing, and it's just like, okay, all right, don't have me go to the comedy club and give me a 20-minute set.
Right.
How did he do? I mean, we know he's funny.
He's on wheels. He's blending house. He's doing all kind of vibes, but I guess his main thing is I think like that Chicago vibe, that Chicago house vibe. So, you know, his range is 128, 30 something. So it's he's doing good. Let's just do that. He's doing all right, you know, as someone that's not really a DJ or known as a DJ, but he's putting the vibes out there. And again, man, right now we're just doing this all for our fans, whatever that entails, whatever helps our fans and just the public in general to get through this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, man, I've hung up the tables, but I was a DJ for 9 years. And when I was out there, one of the things that I can relate to, you know, and Severe and I have had extensive conversations about this, the people hanging over in front of you, trying to get in on things. It's the same kind of environment, except now they're typing comments. How's it been being interactive with everybody that way?
I mean, I love the interaction, man. Because there's sometimes people that come up to you or get next to you at an event or a venue, and they may be afraid because they don't know what you're going to say. They don't know how to approach it. They look at us a little different, you know. And I try and tell people like, hey, man, we're normal people just like you, you know. If there's a question that you have about anything, if you're wondering why I played something, if whatever it may be, come up and ask. Because the only way you're going to find out the answer that I'm going to say is to ask me. And so,
man, you are a kind person.
Look at
we're regular people just like you, except we know that song sucks. Don't come up here. Roger, you keep a regular schedule, man. You got like daily things. How's that been? Is that working in your
dope.
favor?
I mean, I don't know. I started doing it like that, like out of the gate, because I figured people were used to seeing me at certain venues at certain times. So like they knew on this night, this time they needed to come see me at this venue. So I figured I should just keep that going. That way they can kind of like put their schedules together around me, because everybody's homeschooling, working from home. So if they know I'm going to be on at a certain time, they can plan for that and tune in instead of me just randomly popping up. And they might, not be in a situation where they can check me out.
And the venues are letting it happen, because I see you at the House of Blues. I see you at Peaches. I see you in places.
Yeah. I mean, it took a little arm twisting. Like I had to go to the mayor and get basically kind of get like a waiver from them to allow me to go into the places, because Live Nation was like, with the social distancing guidelines, they didn't think it would be cool with the stay-at-home orders to have somebody in the club live streaming. So, I contacted the mayor's office, and they were like, we definitely want to have like, the culture bearers of the city, because New Orleans is so musical. We want to be able to have the music continue to thrive. So, they were all in. That opened up the doors at Live Nation. So, I've been doing a lot of stuff over there. And then I also ended up from that producing a DJ series for the city, to where every Friday for like the past month and a half, they've had a DJ streaming live from the old city hall, where they still had like some satellite offices. And they've been streaming it on the city's social medias.
Severe, would you think you'd have the same luck going to venues where you normally spin, or is LA locked down harder than that?
You know what, LA, it's a little bit different, because normal spots I was spinning at, when we got a little bit loose, like in the past couple of weeks, they've had the DJs come in and spin live as people come to pick up their food.
Right.
Okay.
So, it is different because most of the DJs, because we're not getting paid for it, we're just doing it on the strength of like the love that we want to show the venues that we worked at, and show how loyal we are, but plus also give back and stay sharp. So I mean, it's just every one of us like kind of sticking together. And even what I try to do is, on every DJ I know or I associate with, if I see them live, I pop on and give them a what up, just to show my support on everybody moving forward, so we can all stick together. That's been my thing. Anytime I see Dense, I pop on, I say what up, I peep in, and I just keep it like moving, because that's out of the support and kind of like the brothership that we have out here. Just kind of like keep it moving. But we've been blessed enough in LA as DJs to kind of like really have a good outlook and try to stay relevant, and then just kind of give back, because we don't give back. Now, we don't know if most of these bars and restaurants are going to come back. So just kind of like showing the support as people come in to pick up the food and just be live. And really, to me, it doesn't even matter how many people are watching. I just want to get on, and like, if it's 5 people, if it's whatever, I'm just going to keep spinning, and then just to give back and kind of like Den said, uplift the spirits and just like keep it moving.
Yeah. Dance, I saw a comment on either your Instagram or your Facebook page that somebody had made about how important it was to stay connected and to stay, just vibing with the music, and that you kept it going. Have you been getting that kind of feedback from your normal crowd?
Yeah, I mean, we're DJs first, and we also want to be the same DJs that are in the club breaking new music. People have a lot of time on their hands right now. A lot of people are at home with their families, so they may not get a chance to surf the internet the way they normally would at their 9 to 5. Not that they should be doing that while they're at work, but I'm saying you just don't have that freedom now, because now you got the kids at home, you got the wife at home, or you got your husband at home, and you got things that you have to do to keep everybody busy, to keep everybody, entertained at home. So when they get that outlook, or when they get that moment to share and sit around and say, hey, you know what, Dense is live, or Severe is live, or Raj is live, however it may be, it's like, hey, you know what? Let's listen in, because they're gonna give us something that we weren't ready for. They're gonna give me something that I didn't know was out right now, because I've been out of the loop. You know what I mean? I haven't had a chance to check, YouTube lately or check whatever it may be, whatever your streaming services are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think Raj bounced out, and I didn't really talk to him in detail about what we were doing in here, so he just popped in. So now that he's not with us, oh, here he comes. No, maybe not. Okay, then I'm going to do this. Let's talk about him. He's not out. So we got two DJs from the big venues in LA, and Raj Smooth, who was from New Orleans. There he is. There he is. Oh, see,
I'm back.
Okay.
Now for a second, we were going to talk about you.
Don't tell what we were just talking about.
I already heard you. I was in queue. I was in queue. I heard you. I heard everything.
Yeah, what I was going to say was with the three of you, we also have three different sports.
Yeah.
So now if I've
Right.
been in the booth next to Severe during his gigs, but I have not been to the Staples Center and I have not been to the Superdome during your gigs, Raj. Do you think that the way that the sports are paced, the three of you could interchange gigs?
Wow.
I think a good DJ is a good DJ, period.
Yeah,
Right.
I think really the better question is, how much time would you need?
How much time would I need, or how much time would anybody need? It really depends on. It's really just learning. Like, we all watch each other's sports.
Yeah.
We all know that there's timeouts. We know there's the quarter breaks. We know there's whatever it may be, a changing of the innings and things like that. But we've also been in our craft for a while to know what ours entails as far as what we do if we're down, what we do when we need to rally back, what we need to do when, and then some stadiums allow more music, more prompts from something else instead of, songs. So it would just take really sitting with that DJ for a game and taking notes, because every DJ learns from a DJ, like, you're never too good to learn. You're never too good to learn for your craft, because this is what we do. So if it's a time where Severe is like, hey man, I really need you to fill in for a game coming up, let's say next week. Well, guess what? I'm going to sit in there tomorrow's game and the next game, and I'm going to take the notes, find out what he's playing, find out the scenario, ask questions, because that's the main thing. Ask questions. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Because I don't want people to know that you're not here at this moment. I just want it to go seamless. What I don't want to do is turn around and play something, and I'm talking, 60,000 folks at Dodger Stadium, turn around and look and go, that ain't our guy. You know what I mean? So we're going to sit there. We're going to, it's just taking notes. It's not that we can't do it. It's not that, Raj couldn't come up and rock Staples. It's not that I couldn't go and do, the Dome. It's not that Severe couldn't rock the Dome, however it may be, but you just sit there and you go, okay, I respect this guy's craft, and I want to make sure that I don't mess up his gig or completely change fans' idea of coming to the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? So could we all do it? I mean, if I may answer for everybody, yeah, we could do it, but it would just take a moment to just sit there and take the notes, to want to follow protocol,
Yeah, figure out the finer points.
Yeah,
the stuff that you don't want to miss.
I think a lot of it just comes down to song selection. Like, especially regionally, different songs work in different ways. So every time I go out of town or I talk to DJs out of town, like, I'm always like, yo, like, what are the records that are hitting in your city? You know what I'm saying? Like, send them to me. Especially like, when I was coming up doing the, doing all the college parties, we had a lot of people from different cities and different states. So I had to learn the music where they were coming from so I could drop it in the parties to make them kind of feel like, yeah, we love y'all, we respect y'all, we appreciate y'all partying with us. And it also kind of gave everybody from, people from the East Coast were hearing stuff from Houston or hearing stuff from the Bay Area or hearing stuff from Memphis or hearing stuff from Florida. So it kind of becomes like a melting pot to where, everybody gets a chance to experience what everybody else is doing. So, but if you have a good DJ and you give them the right songs, they're going to know what to do with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So how has your...
I think Dennis hit it on the head because like you said, you respect that person that you're filling in for. And Dennis hit it on the head when you said you just want to come in and seamlessly make it look like he's still there, because you don't want to draw attention to yourself. I do that all the time. I'm always like, I'd rather make it so I'm filling in for this person I respect, and then I want to do exactly what he would do in that instant. And then sometimes it also comes down to the producers that we're in, because we've all had that nightmare producer or whatever that's just itching to get in control of the music and place their passion in and do something totally different that you got to watch out for. We've all had that experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, how has your experience, each one of you, in your gig in a stadium influenced the way that you rock a party, or has it at all? And would you say that one moves faster than the other?
When you say one moves faster than the other, explain that, as far as, just so I know.
You know, when you're at the game, you have to play for the breaks. You have to, all the timeouts and all of those things, the mechanics of that you explained.
Right.
Does that move faster than a party at, say, you're at the club and you know that you're on from 9 to 1? Is that 3 hours more condensed than game time? Or does the downtime that you have while the game's actually taking place mean anything?
I'll speak on the NBA side. There's no downtime.
It's a fast-paced game too.
It's a fast-paced game, offense, defense.
Right.
Timeouts can happen at the drop of a dime, and contests happen. And it's like, I'm not just DJing, I'm actually hosting as well. So while I'm preparing the next song, the next track, or whatever it may be, I'm also getting ready with a contestant to run out on the court to finish out, something that's going on, to possibly get this guy 10 grand for making a half court shot or a brand new car or whatever it may be. So it's a fast paced game. Is it different from the club? No, because the club, maybe in the club in the beginning, in the 9 o'clock hour, I'm going to just try this because I just got it. I'm going to just see what it sounds like in the club. Nobody's really here just yet. The line's still going. Give people something fresh and new. Then you start going backwards. You start giving people more familiar stuff. And then you start hitting them over the head around midnight, 1, 2 o'clock, just depending on what's going on. So I'd say the club, you get a breather in that first hour, and then you got to hit the ground running, unless it's the most anticipated event of the year and the line is already wrapped before you get there, which that happens. Then you got to come out the box swinging, and you got 5 hours of hits. You know what I'm saying? You can't try nothing. Right. You got to come correct the whole time. So
there's two things I heard in what you said. Number one, we're on West Coast business because I said 9 to 1, and Raj be spinning from like midnight to 4:30.
I think Raj is probably about to start spinning right now. You probably just got off of work, right?
The other thing I heard before Raj chimes in, was I think maybe Severe got it the easiest, because baseball might move a little bit slower than the other two sports.
Yeah, what? Well, you know what? This is the thing. Sometimes I'll have gigs right after games, and sometimes my mental transition, it's hard for me to make the mental transition from sports to games, especially if we got beat down or if I used up everything, or if we had some off the wall, like if it was more of a less of a party atmosphere. Sometimes it's hard for me to shift those gears, but and it just depends, because I have to actually get myself in club mindset to play the club and try to maintain the two, because sometimes it's easy to miss the two, but sometimes not. So it's like a different gear shift you have to make. And I'll be honest with you, some nights you're like, man, I suck both places because I was exhausted or whatever. And you gotta remember, sometimes I'm coming off a 10-game homestand, so I might have been in baseball mode for so long that it's gonna take me a minute to get in ratchet or whatever club I gotta do to go in and switch gears. Sometimes it's definitely, it gets easier as you do it, but sometimes it's hard to shift those gears sometimes.
That was you just throwing down the gauntlet, because you do 10-game homestands. 10 games is Raj's whole season.
Right.
I think Raj is frozen again. So
another thing with what Severe is talking about too, it's like we're in this game mentality, we're in this game zone, and we know what we have to do in an arena of 20,000 plus more people.
Right.
We know we can't hit them back to back with this ratchet, the newest. You know, it's like I'm coming from a quiet riot. I'm coming from whatever it may be. I can be on the hottest rock and roll that night. I could be in Spanish. I could be in whatever. And then when I get to the club, I'm going, all right, my go-to is, oh no, that's at the game. What's my go-to right here at the club? Okay, I'm out of that. And then you start thinking, I was just on the turntables an hour and a half ago, and it's like, all right, I'm about to play the newest blah, blah, blah. Oh, I played that already. Oh, no, I didn't, because that was at the other venue. So I haven't played it here yet. So then you start thinking, like, damn, did I burn myself? Am I about to play the same song back to back, and people going to turn around and go, damn, we just heard this. You know what I mean? You go, no, that was at the game, and now I'm at the club. You know, so trust me, I get it.
Yeah. How many times a week are you guys, or how often were you pulling those kind of two a nights where you were back to back? I know Raj pulled two a nights all the time, huh?
So sometimes I have 3 gigs in a day.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
for me, like I had a residency in Palm Springs, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours from LA. So, and my residency is a Friday and Saturday. So let's say I have the residency Friday night. We turn around, we have a game Saturday afternoon, which means call time is 8 o'clock on Saturday morning to set up. Doors open at 11, 12:30 game starts, 3:30 game over, driving back to Palm Springs in 2 hours to get back to do my gig Saturday night, to turn around and do a doubleheader, or not a doubleheader, but then another afternoon game on a Sunday. And then after that afternoon game on a Sunday, could be a wedding, could be a birthday party, could be whatever. So those 2 and 3 nights, definitely often, you know what I mean? And your body gets adapted to it. You know, you start looking at the clock, get home at 4 a.m. and go, I'm going to take a nap till 5:30. I'm going to get up, shower, I'm going to load up, and I'm going to the next gig. You know what I'm saying? But it's the love of what we do that keeps us going. I don't think there's any DJ that looks at it and go, oh man, I gotta go here, I gotta go there. If that's what you're doing, and this is not for you.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, man. When I was doing it, I was spinning vinyl.
Yeah.
And speakers were bigger.
Yes.
So I had to do all of that stuff. And at the time, for a good probably 3 years of it, I lived in an apartment.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I had to hike those big, big dog hair speakers that start smelling like beer and cigarettes.
Right. Yeah.
So that was fun.
I still got a pair of Sony headphones. Smell like every club that I was ever at, just because they used to be able to smoke in it. They used to, man, you couldn't walk in the club without coming out smelling like whatever was going on in that damn club, you know. So those were definitely the good old days.
Just used to be torn up.
Yeah.
The one thing I had to chime into was like going from event to event, like whatever it is, like whether it's your club, your venue, your sports venue, everybody expects you to be on, no matter what your mindset is. You gotta be on, because like soon as you needed to be on at the game for the fans. You need to be on at your residency because they're paying you, or for you doing a wedding, because you got to be on. So you have time, and that's where some of the mental game comes in place. It's like, man, that's why so much pressure, because you just can't go in like this says, this is easy, because if you're a good DJ, everything requires a thought process and what you got to do, which is why I did say sometimes you're overthinking it. Did I play on stuff out of this? Because everybody wants you on, and so you got to be on regardless of what happened. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what though? I'll tell you what. For you two out here on the West Coast with me, people do not get as sweaty or as drunk out here as they do in New Orleans.
Well,
so you know something about something smelling like drunk, sweaty people.
Ain't enough time. Our clubs are done by 1:45. Last call alcohol is 1:30. Raj is probably getting into his warm up set at that time. And
I have a Saturday night residency that I do that starts at 1 a.m.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So I'm coming off a late Friday night. I'll have a day party, do a wedding, and then end up at my 1 a.m. I get out of there at 4, and then if I got a Saints game the next morning, I got to be at the Dome for 8.
Yeah, nah.
Wow.
Hey fellas, my man got kids too. He got 4 of them.
He got what?
4 kids.
Hey, that's why
Maybe I got 4 toddlers. They be up super early.
Right.
Oh man, that's why this man's working so hard.
Also,
Yo, I tell you no lie.
From his car.
I came home the other night. I got in at like 3:30 a.m. Coming from the studio. I was working on some stuff, and I come in and all the lights are on in the living room, and my 2 3-year-old daughters are sitting on the couch watching TV, just chilling, like it's middle of the day. I'm like, yo, like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all supposed to be in the bed right now. Like, turn everything off. Like,
we miss teachers, man. I actually emailed my daughter's teacher the other day, just like, hey, you know what? We really appreciate you because during the day while we trying to organize our life, you know what I'm saying? You tiring her out. She's teaching, she's doing this and that, allowing us to do what we need to do to stay on top of our game. But no, I feel you, man. I completely understand that.
I think Seth Meyers said the other day, 20 years from now, our country is going to be run by people who were homeschooled by day drinkers.
Yeah. And not to be confused, this is water. This is water. I know it's Friday, but this is water right now. So, you know, but not saying that.
Tonight?
Huh?
Who's working tonight?
Tonight I'm doing it. Well, I put a playlist together.
Working all the time.
I put a playlist together, and I'm going to help hand out some food for the Soul Sausage folks. So okay. I put a playlist together because of the ribs and barbecue, what you were talking about earlier. These guys are awesome. They've been putting meals together for the past 4 weeks and just giving people a break from the norm. So, you know, just staying relevant, you know, and staying in people's faces. But, of course, keeping the distance, you know, letting people know, like, hey, I'm the one that put that playlist together. Go ahead. You guys enjoy. And then I'll be recording tomorrow for a children's hospital because they have their Play LA coming up next week. So, of course, there's a lot that goes into that since it's not a live event. So we got to do a lot of things to make it appear live, but still have fun with it, you know?
Yeah, man. Thank you for doing those. I saw on your Instagram that you were doing that, and that's a cool event. Yeah,
no, it's a great event, man. Children's Hospital is amazing out here. They take care of so many children, and you know, their doctors are top notch. You know, no one in there is working on anyone that's not a kid. They're all of them are children. You know what I mean? So you gotta respect. You know, give respect when respect is due. Their every day is trying to fight with these kids with heart conditions and brain conditions, and you know, just you name it. It's just children's hospitals, just kids. You know what I mean? So that's amazing. You know.
I don't know if you guys are watching the scroll and seeing these requests go by, but so far I've seen Reunited by Peaches and Herb.
Hey man, I was about to play it. I just didn't know if you could do that right now.
So part of this is just to introduce our audience to these DJs that you've probably many of them have probably heard out there by just going to games, being out in the world. I know I was at a trade show for a day job that I was doing probably about 10 years ago, and I saw this dude who, you know, was on the trade show floor doing booth duty just like I was, but he looked cool. So every time I walked by, we'd acknowledge each other. So one day I stopped by there, I think it's like the third day of the show. And, you know, we just, hey man, what are you up to? And, you know, chopping it up. And I found out that he had gone to school in New Orleans. And so I said, oh yeah, you went to school down there. He said, yeah. I said, you ever heard of a dude named Rod Smooth? He said, yeah, I mean, Rod Smooth spun every frat party I ever went to.
Right.
So our audience, I'm sure you guys have been to Dodgers games. I'm sure you guys have been to Clippers games, and I'm sure you guys have been around to hear these DJs. And the other part of this was just putting the three of you together so you could, you know, have a homeboy in another spot. Yeah. So make sure you guys follow each other. For our audience, I just want to plug an upcoming show. Well, this evening at 5:00, I got Andrea Vitz. She's the writer of a book called The You You've Never Met. It's a dope-ass book. Also, this coming Monday at 5 p.m., everybody, we have original drummer from Sly and the Family Stone, Greg Arico. And if you are a deep, deep, true funk soldier, you will also know that Gregorico produced all of the Betty Davis records.
Yep.
So, and those records were dope as hell.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Tune in on Monday, everybody.
Thanks.
Check out Gregorico. He's a personal hero, and I'm glad to have him on the show. Back to DJing. So when you're in the booth in these events that you guys are doing on Instagram nowadays, it seems like the crowd has a more intimate access, because it's one thing to walk up to the booth and try to engage with the DJ while he's working. It's another thing. You could just everybody can type a comment.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think that vibe creates a different sort of interaction? And is it the same old, or are you getting things like, man, I never get this when I'm actually in the club?
It's funny. I like it. It helps the feel, especially if you I've done it on different. I've done it on Instagram, I've done it on Facebook, and I've done it on Twitter, and you get a different vibe from both. First off, for all the DJs and Instagram, you guys got to figure out, they got to give the DJs license to stop cutting us off because we play music. I mean, we're just trying to spread the love. So they got to fix that, give us some kind of disclaimer to sign. Yeah. Because we're just doing the same thing that we do in the clubs by spinning records. And it's like they got to stop entering, because that helps lose some of your fans, because people get tired of clicking off. They don't know. But that's just my dispute with that. They got to figure that out. I love the different interaction. I had some females tell me I had the cutest ears last week, which was like different. You know what I mean? And just seeing, just getting the interaction, especially when I'm on later on tonight with this shop called Shop Me Vida, which is a big Latin kind of clothing shop that has a big influence into the Latin community. And most of the Dodger fans are, of Latin descent. So it's like, and I brought Kid Frost on, like I said, and it's merged. So now I just got this whole other audience that I pick up these followers, and how it's just bridged my name, and I just love the interaction. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can get a little, the comments and the requests kind of get out of hand, but when I've chimed on with Dens get the request, and you just kind of got to handle it. You got to be just as diplomatic as if you're at a club and kind of figure out if it fits in your set. But I do like the interaction, and I think they feel it too when they can kind of one-on-one get the communication back from us, and we kind of acknowledge them. I've seen the DJs who just ignore people. And I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's cool too. I'm not saying that you have to acknowledge, because it is a lot of work to kind of DJ, scroll, check, because you're not doing that at the club. Normally, you just think about what record you're gonna play. You're not really checking to see who's chimed in or not. So I mean, it's you got to be kind of ambidextrous and kind of do it and kind of get in a rhythm. It does help. Like, I've even seen it help my mic skills, which I commend Dennis, because Dennis is a good host as well. So this has kind of helped me fine tune different things. It's kind of like a practice run for what's coming forward, after this, because you're gonna have to do this. Right. So I like the interaction and kind of juggling it and then getting it in and interviewing and different things and answering. And you it's a little more one-on-one than it was before.
Okay.
Yeah. I definitely like the interaction, just because sometimes you could be in the club and we all know it, or we can be in the booth, and 9 times out of 10, we're not as approachable in the booth at our arenas, because we have to be focused on the game. We'll have 2 sets of headphones on, one for the music, we'll have one on for our comms and things like that. So we're paying attention solely to what's going on as far as gameplay. Whereas at the club, if we're up on a perch in the club in a DJ booth and someone can't get to you, then your communication is really just the dance floor. So you have to sit there and you have to figure out, now you have to dissect, why aren't they out there? Okay, I know where to get them. I know where to do this and that. But now you have people coming into your personal space, which is your lives and things like that. And it's great because they say, hey, man, you think you can play blah, blah, blah. I go to it. If I happen to see it, it's like, hey, it's not going to hurt me to play it. This is just gaining another fan, where now at the end of this, he goes, oh, damn, he played what I asked for. And it wasn't even in his, it wasn't even part of the vibe. How he hangs up or he gets off, and now he's on social media going, hey, Dents just played blah, blah, blah for me. Why don't you guys tune in? So each person can bring another person. They can bring another person. So I like it, and I like having fun with it, where, some people go, hey, man, can you play? It's like, I'm not going to play that for you right now. I got You know,
Right.
I got kids and I got family. Like I do sometimes on Sundays where I call it doing dishes with Dents, where it's like, put me on starting at 6 o'clock. You probably just finished dinner. You want to have some music in the background, listen to me clown with some folks or whatever. But everything I'm going to play is going to be clean. So you can have your kids in the room at that time. But you get people jumping on like, hey, man, I want to hear this. It's like, well, tune in with me on Tuesday or Thursday when I'm playing that.
Right.
But meanwhile, spread the word that this is a family show on this Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, let's break bread, and this is gonna let people know, like, hey, you know what? This guy can do stuff for the entire family, and it's not just all this cursing and mumble and whatever you may want to call it. There's a different time. There's a setting for all that. It's just like the arena. I can't play the same thing every time. I got to be able to adapt. So, you know, that's just my 2 cents on that. But yes, Instagram, you got to change that because we're not selling nothing. We're not doing nothing like that.
Right.
Instagram, change your policy, bro. We're playing music just like we were in the car or at the club. We had to buy the music, so why can't we play the music?
Right.
And everybody wants to
we
hear
play
it.
the music?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to hear it. Raj, do you find yourself being more or less adventurous because you can't see the crowd? Oh, there you went.
He'll come back.
I think he's frozen. But I'll pass the same question around to you. Since you don't have the interaction of the crowd, you can't see what the dance floor is doing. Do you find yourself being more or less adventurous because of that?
I think, at least from my point of view, it kind of is two rules of thought. Sometimes I find myself like if I know a lot of the people in, I find myself kind of low hanging fruit in it and trying to stay in the lane. But then I say, I forget this. I'm gonna go outside. I kind of want to make the audience kind of vibe with what I'm doing. And I've watched Dents do this too a lot, where he gets in the lane, like, and you see the look at different requests, and you start thinking from a DJ his IG saying, I know Dents ain't about to play that, but then you see the answer. So I like it because it's kind of forced me to deviate, and then like Dents said, break those records I want to break and kind of like come up with different themes, like just to open up different lanes of music. But I also like this, I'm focused on the time, and so I've watched all the DJs come up with different like smooth R&B nights, and you know what I mean, and like based off of the time and different things you do. So I kind of like the opportunity to just kind of force my way. Like I did a sample night one night where all I played was the samples, the sample cuts. I was kind of educating people on music. Like here's this, and I said, this is what I'm doing. I said, it's a 70s sample night. This is all we doing. I'm not changing it up. And I had about a consistent 30-40, and people was like, man, I didn't know that was a sample. So sometimes if you let them,
man, I missed that one. I'm really sorry I missed that one. Yeah.
I made a mix of it. I'm gonna send it to you. I made a mix. It actually inspired me to finally make my mix. I've been wanting to make that mix for years. Yeah. And it actually inspired me to make it. And I got a part 2 ready. But that was my dopest show. And it energized me so much because I was like, I actually felt like a real DJ at the time from back in the day when we came up, like when Dents was on, when I was a fan of Dents before I knew him, and you would break records, and that's what you needed a DJ to do. It kind of this is kind of the opportunity to go back to that, where you can kind of educate the people and show the people, and then put them back in the lane, and then feed off of their request and energy, but also show them, and you take control. This is what I'm doing, because they got other options. They can click off and click back on somebody else who's doing the ratchet, because I don't really want to do that right now. I can do that in my sleep. I'd rather show you, and let's spend something we both can get educated on, and I can show you how music's gonna go.
Yeah, let's make this time useful.
Right.
Do you find yourself being more or less adventurous because you don't have a dance floor in front of you?
A little bit more adventurous, and I think that's why I've scheduled my streams the way I have, so people know that what they're gonna get at different times. So like, don't come on the Quiet Storm night and ask for Future or Drake. Like, you're not gonna get that. You might get some Babyface and some Jodeci.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it gives, like, having those specific times set up where I can explore those different genres. And like, the whole thing, like with the sample thing, like I kind of incorporate that with the Sunday kind of brunch mix because it's more laid back. So I do like a lot of old school R&B and like some more mellow things, and get into some 90s, R&B and a little hip hop in there, but nothing too much because it's not the time for that. It's a different type vibe that's going on. So,
Yeah.
you know, but I it's cool
Maybe some
to be able
diggable
to
planets.
do that, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I I love the crowd. Like the crowd is as much of it for me as anything else. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when I DJ, I hate being in a perch. Like I prefer being like right up against the audience. You know what I'm saying? So I can be in the middle of the energy and like, you know, I can feel it coming off of them, whatever it is that I'm giving to them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you know, we're coexisting in a space and we're creating this moment together. You know,
Yes.
so I definitely prefer being in front of an audience, but you know, you got to do whatever you can do, and you know, the comment section, you know, it's virtually an audience, so we know we make the most of it. But I did want to say one thing about like the Instagram and the Facebook and the licensing stuff. Like I know that they are working on it. I had a connect that just did a workshop with the head of Instagram music, so it's something that they're working on, but it's not them. It's the performing rights organizations that are causing the issue, because it's really like it's copyright issues, and Facebook and Instagram weren't built for that. Like they weren't built to be a streaming service. But, so all of this new stuff has been thrust upon them like super early, and the laws and the agreements haven't had a chance to catch up yet. Because I definitely feel like, you know, if they were like, yo, you know, pay X amount of dollars a month to have this license, that'd be cool. Because like all of the venues that we DJ in, especially the music venues down here, they have music licenses that they have to pay BMI and ASCAP, you know, $600-700, whatever it is a year, so that they can have live music in the venue. Right. So Facebook and Instagram haven't caught up to that yet, but it is on their radar and they are working on it.
But aren't they picking and choosing? And the reason why I say that is because and this isn't a shade on anybody, but you look at D-Nice. D-Nice can go for 5-6 hours, and his only reset every hour. He doesn't get knocked off in 15-20 minutes for just playing a Prince joint or whatever. He hasn't had anything tagged at the bottom as far as I don't own the rights, but yet he'll have something he's doing for Michelle Obama, or he'll have something he's doing for a big name. He doesn't get knocked off at all. Hey guys, I know we're correct, you know, but come on right back because I got 30 seconds left of this hour. But guess what? Next hour I'm rocking just the same way, and you just watching these people come back on. We're fighting for a couple of hundred to come back on if we get knocked off in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So they know what's going on, but I think they're picking and choosing, which I don't think that should be the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
definitely no shade on Nice, because he actually got a CNN commercial out of it where they talk about it on. I mean, you know, he's on a commercial with his like
on the CNN, the what's up, you know, Budweiser joints. He making his money. You know what I'm saying? We fighting to just
making his money,
keeping the fans interacting with us because, like, hey, well, they're like, hey man, you should do this because D-Nice is doing it. Well, I mean, I was going to do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? But all right,
doing it. Do you think that it's a situation where all boats rise with the tide? You think that's going to happen?
It's going to have to be like Rod said. Like Rod said, like I said, I get it that they can't pivot that fast, but like you should be able to click on something to say, look, we get what's going on. These are extreme, dire circumstances, and we know for a fact. Okay, well, I
specifically asked about that, and
I need to know when you come back. What? Because
right. Because he got me hanging. He got me hanging.
When you come back, let us know, because I'm curious on what you were getting ready to say on that, because that's a real important thing right now.
But it's definitely right. I mean, like he's, and no shade on Nice, because Nice is dope, but he's about to springboard, like he's a brand new out of this. He's gonna come forth with a whole new setup, like out of this. You know what I mean? And we're like the underworld. We're getting in. But
I'm waiting on John to pop back in. Now he's out.
Okay, no worries. That's all.
Know? I think Instagram got mad at you guys and Facebook.
I think
so.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick Rob Smooth out too real quick.
Sorry,
Hopefully those guys
Instagram.
get back in.
Yeah, Instagram ain't no shade.
Sorry, Instagram. Sorry, Instagram.
You know, it's
No
just
shade. We love you. We love you. We love you.
We just want to be able to do what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I've been fucking around with you guys putting up these songs and that that I'm requesting, like Tommy Dorsey's I'm Sentimental Over You. But no shit, how often do you play a song from 50 or not 50, 70 years ago? How often does that creep into you guys' play set at a Clippers game or a Dodgers game? Because I know it happens at some point. Like you're gonna play Frank Sinatra, shit like that.
It happens.
Right.
For something that's of that age, it's got to be a special moment. It's got to be something for a vet. It's got to be something that makes sense for that. Like I can't throw on April in Paris by Sinatra for a dance cam. I can do it for a kiss cam for, let's say, an anniversary night. You know what I'm saying? Where someone can understand what that song means. But to answer that question too, I do turn around and play that in Palm Springs. You got to think about my crowd in Palm Springs. I say my playlist in Palm Springs is everything from Drake or from Sinatra to Drake. You know what I'm saying? And that's in a 5.5, 6 hour span. So you get people that are still on the gambling tables starting. If I start at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, and you have the crowd in there, the average age is 65, maybe 70. Oh yeah, you best believe I'm doing the Sinatra. I'm doing the Sammy. I'm doing the Dean. I'm doing whatever it is that they're looking for, because they're the ones that are bringing those chips up, tipping, and staying to gamble. And they go, hey, you know what? Because I heard you play X, Y, and Z, I stayed here and I actually won the jackpot of whatever. So I can't go in there banging out the newest and the greatest at 7 o'clock when the average age is 65 to 70. You know what I mean? So
right.
To answer the question, yes, Sinatra can be played. I can turn around and play Sinatra at any moment. But again, being a DJ, you got to know when to play it and why you're playing it.
Right. Yeah. It's all in knowing your energy, especially what's going on, and then kind of like picking and choosing, and then kind of saying something like that so it stands out when you do play it. You know what I mean? Not so it's like, oh, he play this all the time. You know what I mean? Just kind of like knowing your energy and like when to use it and keep it in your wheelhouse and then know what's going to work and hope it's recognizable and not just a song. You know what I mean? Like keeping it in your holster for something special.
Right.
When you play that something special, like let's say it's Frank Sinatra Jr. night. I think that was the night it might have been the night we were all together. Are you obliged to play one of Frank Jr. songs, or can you play his dad's songs? Do you even dare play a Nancy song?
You know what? At that point in time, it depends on how you trying to close it or how you trying to button it off. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I got this now. Let's see if you know this. Sometimes you want to like just let it resonate in the moment and not try to overplay your hand. You know what I mean? Overplay your hand.
Yeah, no, I get that. And you look at a time like for us where we had Ralph Lawler's last year, and I remember introducing him a couple of times to Sinatra, because hey, it's an era that he recognizes, it's an era that he loves. And I remember after his last game that he called, we had had like a little season ticket holder / intimate event right after the game at the Lexus Club, and it's like, okay, I closed up, had my pops close up the other stuff. I ran upstairs, plugged in my laptop, and I remember talking to Ralph ahead of time, like, hey man, this party's for you, and I want to know, it's like, I know we play a lot of stuff with the Sinatra and stuff for you. I said, but tell me what your list is. Tell me what's going on. He's like, Vince, I love the Sinatra. I love the stuff that you play at the game, but you know what? Because of my family, I'm a Jonas Brothers fan. You know what I'm saying? I like
wow.
Brothers, and I also like Shawn Mendes, and I'm going, word? Okay.
No.
Here it is. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you go, damn, I had no idea that Ralph Lawler knew about the Shawn Mendes or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Again, music speaks, man. Music. I've said this in the I'm Why. I've said this in different events and different venues that I've spoken at. Music is a language. Music is like a speech. And in a speech, I can say something that will make you cry right now. I can say something that'll put a smile on your face. I can say something that'll make you furious and want to throw a chair through a window. That's the same thing with music. Music can put you in the zone. I can play something right now that will calm 20,000 folks, or at least 15,000 out of it that will help calm the other 5,000 down. You know what I'm saying? Or I can play something right now that will make 20,000 people erupt and ready to just, you know, keep going for another hour or so. You know what I mean? So when you find out that music is a part of your DNA, where you can pick something and play something, we're selectors. We're selecting what we want the crowd to feel. We're selecting what we want people to go away with. We're selecting to make you forget about that 9 hours you slaved and didn't get a lunch and just finished 2 hours of homework. We're selecting to get your mind off of that stuff. That's our whole deal.
I'll take it a step further, man. On a molecular level, things in the universe, particles in the universe vibrate.
Right.
Yeah.
And those selections are even more than, because when you have a voice and the voice is speaking to you, you have vocabulary, you got interpretation, you got the things that you got to do to you understand the language. You have to have that connection with your audience where you use the same words, the same colloquialisms, all of that stuff. The Pete telling me to turn my phone. The thing about music is it's vibrations. So sometimes you have those language things working for you, but even if you don't, you still have the opportunity as the selector of the music to bring somebody to a place emotionally, spiritually, where they don't even have to know what the words are.
Right.
You know, so really, I'm just trying to amplify your point, Dents, and saying that music not only has the same power as words, music has a power that hits us even further deeper in our core.
Right.
And I think that people, when they understand that, then they start to realize what music means to their lives.
Yeah.
Right. Some of my favorite nights at Dodger Stadium is when I look at Twitter and someone goes, someone tags me because someone on Twitter said, well, who's the DJ here? Because what he's playing is awesome. And someone who already knows, go, that's DJ Severe. That's DJ Severe. And then they start following me, and then you'll see the trail of other followers based off of that, people who wanted to ask that question but never asked that question just came and caught the vibe. Because one of the best things is, I tell people all the time, it's like there's people who are really tuned into the music, who are on the vibe, and those are people that probably already follow you. But there's those others who come in, don't even know they're in tune with what's going on. They just know they like it. They don't know how to say, well, they don't know how to resonate. Say, well, that's a DJ up there. Well, let me follow him, because it might not read to them. But I love the fact that people go, well, man, I every time I come to the stadium, I'm Shazamming my ass off because I don't know, because you're playing so much stuff I never heard of. So that's a compliment to me. And it's like to see the Shazam go off and this, that, or other, and just get that credit. And then, or to even, like I said, as many times as you got before, just walking out the end of the night for the people that don't recognize me, or people that don't know me, and then hear them still dancing or hear them talk about the music. And then to see the tweets when people say, well, man, even if I know it's a show, regardless of what the outcome of the game is, that's when you transcend the outcome of the game. People just come because it's a party, and they either way, they're going to leave out there satisfied some. Now, if the team wins and blasts them out, that makes it easier. But that's another game where I say, against us and Raj, we always have to be on, because even the team's getting blasted, I still got to be on. Because the first thing management does is turn to you like, we need to get the energy back up. Like, you're like, well, give me a bat and $2 million, but still, it's like it's not all on my shoulders. But you have to always be on. But get that feedback from the fans, like say, man, every time I come, I know you're gonna play some, so I'm gonna always Shazam it, and to hear them say it, whether it's from your Twitter follow or whatever, just to see the reaction and to keep people partying, man, that's the payoff for me, like lots of times. And then like I get so jazzed and I'm missing it so much now that baseball's not in, which probably dense is too, because, you know what I mean? All the teams were looking to have just these great years, and we just had it snatched from us. And my energy was so high going into the season that I was so prepared and so ready. And it's like, now I'm trying to keep myself in that lane so I can come out with that same energy and even more, because once it's finally let loose, the fans are gonna be looking for it, and we got to be ready to go. So if you're sitting on your hands now and not prepared, you're gonna get caught like a deer in the headlights. You got to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just
when we're used to playing
that energy.
Yeah, when we're used to playing at
go
a
ahead. Yeah.
And and we know, but coming back for if we come back and start playing for playoffs, because like you said, we were ready for this big run and whatever, or if it turns around in this next year, I now got to be at a 13, 14. You know what I'm saying? I can't come in there again.
Right.
I got to give them something more. Like, I've been waiting to get back to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you guys have been waiting to get back to basketball, I've been waiting to get back to you. You know, it's like, man, that feeding off the crowd and off that energy, man. Like you said, we had to learn to be on 10 at all times, because when I started there in 05, 06 or 06, it was like, hey, we getting blown out. It's the Clippers, bro. Getting blown out. There were 3,000 to 5,000 folks a night in a 20,000 seat venue where it's like, all right, Dents, get them going. We down by 40, bruh. What you mean get them going?
Right. What you want me to do?
And everybody's looking at 3
and everybody's looking at you. But then with that mentality, it's like, you know what? These people came to party, so let's get behind these guys. Even if it helps for 5 points, we can't sit there because the team ain't playing good. That doesn't mean that I can't play good. I got to go for it. I got to know, like, hey, y'all, let's get behind these guys. I ain't the 6th man. Y'all the 6th man. Let's get behind this. Let's start filling up some seats. You know what I mean? So, no, trust me.
Yeah. Hey, we've been doing this for an hour, man, and it's been a lovely hour, but I've had enough of you guys' time. I just got a text from Raj. He expresses his gratitude, but he got bounced out and he couldn't log back in because he had to go to a gig.
Nah, that was Instagram, bro. Instagram kicked his ass and cut him off.
They heard him talking smack. But yeah, man, I sure do appreciate all the work you do. Just to punctuate that last point, I want to say that, what we didn't talk about is the feedback from the fans that you don't hear, which are the little kids who go to their first game. And when they go there, they feel the energy, they understand what's happening without understanding what's happening. And they go to the playground the next day and they don't know why they're shooting hoops, but it doesn't feel the same. And the difference is the crowd experience, the music, the elevation of the mood, and all of the things that you guys do to make it so that that ticket's worth that money. So I want to thank you guys for coming on. I want to tell our crowd, go to a Clippers game, go check out DJ Dents. When the games come back on, go to Dodger Stadium, see DJ Severe. And when you're out in New Orleans, and I'll say this to both of you as well, when you're out in New Orleans, you got to go check Raj out because, man, he'll show you around the town.
Definitely.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
I'm going to go hit Canal Street first, and I'm going to come to him, and then I'm going to have him show me the city. So, again, I appreciate you for doing this. And if you can, please send me that intro that you read for me. It's like, man, I need to start putting this in my bio, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy right here dug in the crates for that interview. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, fellas. All right, everybody. At Real DJ Severe. Let's see. Where are you, Dents? You're at at DJ Dents on all social media. And you guys follow them. Check out their Instagram live events. Listen to the music, enjoy the vibe, vibrate on a higher level. This is the Break It Down Show. Good evening.